Hello guys, it's Gilgamesh the Gamer here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. On today's video I am going to be talking about how to build Arctic Abyss Poseidon. So let's start with that. Do we know about Arctic Abyss Poseidon? Arctic Poseidon is a ranged fighter that makes use of energy as her combat resources. Her damage attribute is ice, her gen zone is Olympus. She is a must-have because you will need her in most team comp in late game. Also, to fully utilize Poseidon to her potential, you should know what each of her skills do. So let's start with Poseidon normal attack, which is called Sub-Zero Crystal. And what it does is that Poseidon summons ice crystals to attack the enemies to her front, dealing ice DMG equal to 209% of ATK in total. Her passive is that she can have up to 2 of the snowy and icy marks. And she is also granted 3 energy per second. Poseidon's skill 1 is called Zero Mansard, and what it does is that Poseidon summons an icicle to pierce the locked-on enemy, dealing ice damage equal to 200% of attack in total and inflicting freeze on enemies hit for seconds. If you tap the skill 1 again in a short time, an additional chant is casted which deals damage according to the number of icy marks on the target in your range. Skill 2, also known as Matter Frozen, what it does is that Poseidon summons an icicle to pierce the locked-on enemy, dealing ice damage equal to 200% of ATK in total and inflicting freeze on enemies hit for seconds. If you tap the skill 2 again, an additional chant will be casted, dealing 239% of attack. You should also take note that Poseidon is granted certain effect according to the icy marks expended to enter edgy state. For 1 icy mark, it lowers enemy ice resistance by 1% for 10 seconds and reduces the cooldown time of skill 2 by 4 seconds, while for 2 icy mark, hits landed on enemy lower their resistance by 2% for 10 seconds up to 20%, and also reduces the cooldown time of skill 2 by 9 seconds. Skill 3, which is also called Silver Snow Echo, and what it does is that casting Snow Echo after a Zero Mansard or Matter Frozen attack will repeat the previous skill attack and grant the corresponding snowy or icy mark. Said casting will also come with the corresponding additional chant follow-up attack. When Poseidon has 2 of either mark, Snow Echo is replaced by Silver Frost. Skill 3 is now known as Silver Frost, and what it does is that expends all marks for the corresponding effects. When cast, Poseidon fires 3 Silver Frosts in the direction of the locked-on target, dealing ice DMG equal to 700% of ATK to enemies along the way. The cooldown time of Zero Mansard and Matter Frozen is reset, which is your skill 1 and skill 2, and Poseidon enter a new stage, which is Edgy State for 8 seconds. When in the Edgy State, Poseidon may not use skill 3 and will not be granted any snowy or icy marks, though a Zero Mansard or Matter Frozen attack will be followed up with the corresponding additional chant attack. Poseidon ultimate skills, also known as Frosty Starfall, and what it does is that Poseidon summons multiple icicles to attack the locked-on enemy, dealing ice DMG equal to 840% of attack in total. Casting Frosty Starfall also shortens the remaining cooldown time of either skill 1 or skill 2 for members of the team if either icy or snowy marks are active, depending on the number of marks active. And also a 8% ultimate skill charge is also granted when freeze is inflicted on the enemy. Effect can trigger once every 2 seconds. Now let's go to Sigil. The best Sigil for Poseidon is Jormungandr and Vanguard Seal. What Jormungandr does, it gives Poseidon a chance to gain 35% of max energy each time energy is consumed. It also increases the chances by 1% for every 1 energy consumed. And what Vanguard Seal does that it increases ice damage by 10%, it also increases crit damage of ice skills and ultimate skills by 20%. It also increases crit damage by an additional 40% when landing an attack on an enemy on freeze. The Sigil positioning for Vanguard Seal is position 1, 3, and 5, while for Jormungandr is position 2, 4, and 6. The best functor for Arctic Abyss Poseidon is Herald Amphitrite, and what it does is that it grants 1 energy for every 24 times landing an attack and also when in edgy state. The ice damage boost from skill 1 is increased by 20% and the ice resistance lowering effect of skill 2 is increased by 20%, and also when in edgy state, each time skill 1 or skill 2 is casted, the base damage of corresponding skill is increased by 12% for 5 seconds. Effects stack up to 5 times. The best ether code for Arctic Poseidon comes in 2 forms. The first form is only recommended if you are playing in a normal stage. You should pick 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 yellow ether code, while for the second form is highly recommended for the boss stage or in a time you are playing a very hard or difficult stage. You should pick 1 red and 2 blue ether code to utilize her full potential. So this marks the end of this video. I will be grateful if you can give this video a like and also subscribe to my channel not to miss out on any Ether GAZER updates or guide. If you have anything to say, you can leave a comment below. Thanks a lot guys, see you next time.